News, which is here. I was working on one of my consulting gigs, and one of the other people said, you can't run a large language model locally without a lot of processing power and a lot of memory. And that is emphatically false. So I heard you could do it locally, so I did this. Llama 3 is the latest one from Meta. And you can install it locally. It's incredibly simple, and I've got it running on my machine right here. Here it is. So it runs locally. What's that?
Is that the 8 billion parameter one?
Yes.
Or the 70?
I think it's the 8 billion one. You can get the bigger one, but the 8 billion one works just fine. If I say,
There's another one, 70 billion parameters.
well, this one's 8 billion, the other one's like 71 billion, yeah. So let's see, what is the most powerful?
Try something more controversial.
What's that?
Try something more controversial.
Well, I don't know if this is controversial either. But anyway, the point is, it's really smart. I tried to trick it with the usual tricks, and it's too smart to fall for it. If you ask it the same question multiple times, it notices, instead of just giving you random wrong answers. If you ask it a simple numerical question, it gets it right. I've never seen an LLM that can answer the question, how many N's are in the word origin? They will get it wrong like 2 times out of 3.
How many what?
How many times does the letter N appear in the word origin? Most LLMs cannot answer that. They can't count. They can't even count to like 3 or 4. But there you go, Bloom, oh my goodness. I never thought of, Bloom was 1.6 billion, yeah. BERT, these are really old. I think all this data is from like 2021 is why. It may not even know about itself. That would be kind of interesting. Anyway, this is really fast, and this is running locally. That's why Apple has now announced they're going to make their LLM run right on the phone without going to a server for privacy. And it certainly improves privacy. And this is something that, that I wanted to tell people, and now I can say you can try it yourself. You can run it on your own device. It runs fine, and you can see you really do not need a lot of power to run it. So anyway, I made a project out of that.
The Llama 2 unrestricted version is more less wordy.
Yeah, the Llama 2 is an older one, so it'll be more easily.
Less wordy.
Less wordy, that could be.
The uncensored one.
Yeah, could be, yeah. Anyway, so this is amazing. I already know about 2 religions in Silicon Valley that are screwing everything up. One is accelerationism, and the other is another one, I forget the word. They're both about AI. They both expect AI to get smarter than human within a couple of years, and they have different theories about that. But here's a new one, yet a new wacko religion. This guy, Balaji Srinivasan, who apparently was the CEO of some very famous company. He's written a book about how to start a new country, and this is basically a fascist manifesto, which is what most of them are. They're billionaires, so they think all the poor people should just be exterminated and they should just rule the world. So he says he wants to make San Francisco into a society where you have 3 classes of people. You have the grays, which are the people that are into tech. Then you have the blues, which are the Democrats, which he hates. And then you have the reds, which are Republicans, which he loves. So he wants to have protected zones in San Francisco that will be utopians, where only the grays and the reds can go, and drive the blues out. Because the blues make you be politically correct and otherwise ruin your life. And he's really clear about this, and he has a New York Times story and a book and a speech and everything. A dystopian future, just like Donald Trump, he thinks the U.S. is in chaos and decline because of all the political correctness of the blues. They're the problem. And what we really need is the people on the right just taking over. Yeah, what I'm really calling for is something like tech Zionism, comparing himself to like Joseph Smith or Abraham, the guy who creates a new utopian religious community. So, in case anybody doesn't understand that these are all religions, they certainly are the new religions. They're basically cults, and they're all completely crazy. And, it's distressing to watch how they move into mainstream politics. Like the people in Silicon Valley, the other 2, accelerationism, and the other one, which I can't remember the name of, both believe that within a couple of years AI will be smarter than us, and I don't think that's true at all. But the U.S. government AI policy does include a lot of worrying about that. And I'm sad to see a sort of insane idea be taken seriously, but that's where we are.
Well, the AI is winning against the humans.
Winning against the human? Well.
Yeah, just look at Gaza.
Look at what?
Really good.
At what? Gaza?
Yeah.
AI?
Use AI to do
Targeting.
Yeah, targeting.
Well, they did, but I don't know if that's true. But that's just, I don't think they proved it's better than a human. I'm sure they did use AI. Anyway, so Elon Musk, his company has been in a lot of trouble but now he made a big leap forward because he went and made a deal with China. And he appears to be clearing the way to sell Teslas in China. And as many American companies have tried to expand to China. Now, that's a huge market. If you could manage to do it, it would be great. The only American company I know that has succeeded in moving into China is Yahoo. Yahoo moved into China, and they actually own a lot of Alibaba, and they actually made money. All the other companies that tried to do it, like Google, just couldn't succeed at all and just had to crawl back home and abandon their stuff in China because they make it very difficult to succeed there. But Elon Musk, his stock is going up because he appears to be making progress at planning to sell a version of his car in China. And if he can do that, that will be a huge coup.
No, Tesla is selling in China already.
They are? Okay, apparently not.
They do the second biggest battery after the US in Shanghai.
Oh, okay.
Just fitting out. I
Well-
think what this is doing is trying to get the
Self-driving.
get the AI in.
Yeah, that's right. He's getting mapping data. Anyway, so we'll see.
Because even Tencent is selling like a level 4 autonomy car in China. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure why Tesla tried to reinvent the wheel, because China is using the open source software. So
Well-
I'm not sure why Tesla is late.
That's a good question, but anyway, that's his plan. And so iOS, I mentioned this before, iOS 18 is going to have an LLM running on the phone without sending the data anywhere for privacy, which is exactly what my companies I'm consulting for care about. You don't want to send the data off to some cloud-based service. You want to control it yourself. And I'm demonstrating, you totally can run it without huge resources. You can run a model. Now, you can't create and train a model without huge resources, but you can absolutely run a model without huge resources on your own servers. And then you don't have to worry about the privacy risks of sending it to some third company.
But you don't have control over the data, over the training data.
No, but nobody does. I mean, the training data is always the same. It's the pile, which is a huge amount of data.
You want to kind of filter that powerful.
No, what Microsoft does is what everyone does. You take the data trained on the pile, and then you add your company data to your query.
No, the new Llama 3, they do the filtering first.
Right, that might be, the Llama 3 might, but the point is you don't control the training data. That's huge and expensive. The company that made the big LLM, they trained it on whatever they thought was right, and then you customize it by adding stuff to the query.
No, they do both ways. Before the training data and after the training data, the latest AI.
Yeah, that's right, but you don't train it on your company data. You generally use your company data as part of the
No,
query.
you filter the data before you're training it.
Well, that would be nice, but only,
That's the latest
oh.
AI.
well, sure, but only huge companies like Meta and Google can do that because it costs $40 million to train an AI. So average company that's going to use it cannot possibly create their own. They're going to have to use one of the pre-trained ones from one of the huge corporations.
A lot of companies use the OpenAI model, to train to do their own training.
I don't think so, but if you find an article explaining that, I'd like to see it. I think what they do is they take the pre-trained model from OpenAI, and then they add a little bit of their company data to it. And they do that by adding it to the query. At least that's how Microsoft's AI does it, Office Copilot. That's a very important issue, and I'd like to see if you have any more information. Send it to me. I'm interested in seeing it. Anyway, that's enough of the news for tonight.